Beth travels to Hong Kong for a business trip. On her way back home, she stops in Chicago for a short layover. After completing her journey, she returns home and reunites with her husband, Mitch, and her stepson, Clark. Clark is Mitch's son from his previous marriage. Suddenly, Beth begins feeling sick. The next day, she suffers a seizure. Mitch rushes her to the hospital, but she dies shortly after. The doctors are unable to diagnose what caused her illness. Soon after, Clark also becomes sick and dies. Mitch calls 911, and authorities place him in quarantine. At the same time, people around the world begin falling ill and dying. News reports reveal the emergence of a new and highly contagious virus. We are introduced to doctors at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, who are investigating the outbreak. Dr. Erin is assigned to travel to the city where Beth died to help track the infection. She arrives within hours and questions Mitch about Beth's recent travel. She asks why Beth visited Hong Kong and why she stopped in Chicago. Mitch begins to suspect that Beth may have visited an old friend and had not been honest with him. Mitch is tested for the virus, but he shows no signs of infection. Doctors conclude that he has a strong immune response. He is eventually released and returns home. Mitch has a 16-year-old daughter named Jory from his first marriage. When she visits him at the hospital, he worries she may be exposed to the virus, so he brings her home and keeps her isolated. As the virus spreads across the United States, government agencies consider the possibility that it may be a bioweapon intended to target developed nations. Meanwhile, Dr. Erin travels to Hong Kong to trace Beth's movements and determine how the virus began spreading. Researchers discover that the virus contains genetic material from both pigs and bats. Scientists attempt to develop a vaccine, but every time they test the virus in lab cultures, the cells die. Progress is slow and frustrating. Millions of people become infected worldwide. Statistically, 1 in 12 people is at risk of contracting the virus. The survival rate is only about 25 to 30%. Governments respond by placing infected cities under strict quarantine. No one is allowed to enter or leave. Airports, schools, colleges, and offices shut down. People isolate themselves in their homes, living in fear. On the 21st day of the outbreak, information from the CDC reveals that the virus, called MEV, may have originated in Africa and is potentially more deadly than HIV. Scientists continue testing experimental vaccine samples, but success remains uncertain. Finally, on the 29th day, CDC researchers make a breakthrough. However, the vaccine has not yet been tested on humans. The approval process would take time, and many infected people may not survive long enough to wait. Dr. Elise decides to take a major risk. She injects herself with the experimental vaccine. Afterward, she visits her infected father and speaks to him face-to-face without wearing protective equipment. Days pass, and she does not become infected. Her self-experiment proves successful. The vaccine's success is announced to the World Health Organization and other international agencies. However, mass production takes time due to the global population size. To distribute the vaccine fairly, the U.S. government creates a lottery system based on birth dates. Those whose birth dates are selected receive the vaccine first. Additional lottery rounds follow every few months. Gradually, people are vaccinated and begin returning to normal routines and jobs. In the final scene, the origin of the virus is revealed. In Hong Kong, a bulldozer knocks down a tree, disturbing a colony of bats. The bats fly away and land in a banana tree, biting into the fruit. One of the contaminated bananas falls into a pig farm, where a pig eats it. The pig is later transported to a casino. A chef handling the pig wipes his hands on his apron and then shakes Beth's hand without properly washing. This moment becomes the starting point for the global outbreak. The virus spreads worldwide through simple human contact. What are your thoughts about the reality and misconceptions surrounding global pandemics? Awareness and understanding are essential.